out that cam for a minute. We are live. We are live. We are live. Back live on Talk Talk Live. Let me just get a Chris swig of water here. How are you doing? Hope you enjoyed your day. And season's greetings. Yes, indeed. We're in the Christmas season, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you like it or not, we are in the Christmas season. So hopefully, but if you are not celebrating Christmas, may I say, oh, wow, let me get this up and running. Holy cow, I didn't even connect my mics. Give me 1 second. There we go, 1, and there we go, 2. Okay, we're back in live. Okay. Talk Talk Live is back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live tonight. We have a lively subject. Yes, indeed, we do have a lively subject. I hope you like my little bit of winter gear here. I haven't bought one of these sweaters before, but again, I thought, it's more of an HM thing, so I said, you know what, let me get some fast fashion. Hope you're enjoying yourselves today. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live, live on IG and YouTube. Yes, we are live on IG and YouTube, and hope you enjoyed your day. And we're going to get on to this subject. Why men avoid dating successful women, or, if you wish to phrase it, why successful women avoid dating certain types of men. And it's a very touchy subject because, again, as women are entering the workforce and, again, are showing their competence all the way around and such, we have come to a point now where, we're finding a lot more successful women in the workforce, absolutely, that are higher earners and that are carrying the weight of their households, either alone or within a certain group. But again, you find a lot of these successful ladies alone for some reason. And we're here to discuss that topic tonight, so hope you are ready and available to join us in the discussion tonight, live on IG and YouTube. You can, and again, like, subscribe, comment. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I thank you for your company. Yes, indeed. Sponsored by Dunk Talk tonight, DUNTALK.com. Fall winter line out now. So let's get into this. What has spurred me on here in terms of this discussion was this YouTube vid that I found about a week or so back. I think it was by Real Talk. So I'm just going to pull it up now on the browser. Here we go. And I'm going to get onto it myself. There we go. And it was this video here. And it was just a bit of a short. Anyways, and the question was, why men avoid successful women? And it was short and sweet and very succinct, and I just want you to judge the woman's reaction to this video. So this is going to start the subject, but start off the discussion. But we're going to branch off into other things as well. So branch off to other people's opinions as well. And we're going to discuss those too. So I hope you are ready. And I hope you enjoy the show. And we're going to get off with this subject right here on YouTube. This is on YouTube for all my IG people. If you want to watch the video now, you can go to YouTube on Talk Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And we're going to get into it right now.
Because the more educated you are, the less agreeable you are. The more successful you are, the harder you are to please. The more traveled you are, the easier it is for you to get bored. So as a man, damn. Okay.
So that really spurred my interest. That comment really spurred my interest in that, in essence, the more successful you are, the more. Well, let's repeat that one more time.
Because the more educated you are, the less agreeable you are. The more successful you are, the harder you are to please. The more traveled you are, the easier it is for you to get bored. So as a man, damn. Okay. Because the more educated you are, the less agreeable you are. The more successful you are.
Sorry about that. It ran a little bit over time, but I think you get the point. So again, when it comes down to it, successful women have great educations. They've been to they're well-traveled individuals. They have, and they, they're in a more competitive environment, more than likely. It's clear that most of them will not take on jobs which are dirty or are which are dirty jobs or construction jobs or any utilities or things to move things forward. Only a fraction of women will. Maybe a small, very small percentage will do that. But most women are pretty much office types who have made their way in the world in medicine or in to a certain extent finance, to a certain extent law, to a certain extent all the professions. And that is where you find a lot of these ladies. And again, so medical field, legal field, financial field. Those are three areas really. And sales. Let's call sales. You can call that a fourth. So with those areas in particular, so you're finding a lot more women who are more successful, and with that comes the fact that they are less agreeable. So it's hard, and in that they're harder to please. So the ladies have been behind. It takes a lot to wow them. It takes a lot to surprise them. It takes a lot to do to appease their needs. It takes a lot. It takes a whole lot because they've seen and done what men in their profession have done as well. So it makes it harder for them to please. So therefore, their standards are set higher in terms of the men that they run into. So in terms of the simpler things in life, they wouldn't care for that. They're into much more. Unfortunately, for the majority of women, they're into much more extravagance. They tend to be more hypergamous, and because of that, at the end of the day, they get easily bored. They get very easily bored. They're not wowed. It's not that new puppy feel. It's not you don't have that surprise element anymore with these ladies because they've been there, they've done that. So and with that, men can't really impart wisdom to these women. They're usually imparted on men. So therefore, they're always looking for someone at their level or above their level to do the wowing, to do the appeasing, or to do the things that their dollars can't do. Quite simply, to do the things their dollars can't do. And that's usually why women, for the most part, are hypergamous. They tend to date at their level, if not above their level. But again, what men try to avoid are these women who have these sort of masculine traits, and not only do they take that makes them successful in the workforce, they bring it home. They literally bring it home. And once you bring it home, most men don't wish to have a battle not only in the office but in life itself and at home, where you're supposed to find peace, where you're supposed to find solace, where you're supposed to find a helpmate or a woman who is there for you through thick and thin, and is generally surprised and wowed by and is proud of your exploits. So that in and of itself is why a lot of men avoid successful women. They tend to shy away from them. Not to say that they all the way live don't, as we'll prove in some of the other video proof that I have here, other video footage that I have here. But it's definitely something that men would like to avoid if it comes in a package that men like to see. Then yes, of course, they would definitely date that woman or try to date that woman. But again, if she's in her masculine, it's going to be a sort of a problem. So we have to, so women have to take that under consideration. The question remains: can a woman be masculine, quote unquote, masculine in the work world and yet feminine at home? A lot of women can't shut that off. They can't automatically flip that switch. If they've been competitive in the office, they'll bring it home and they'll be competitive there to a point where If a man is earning less than them, he expects them to earn. She often loses respect for him, and in time, it may be the case where she moves on. And a woman, and that's the difference between a man. A man will accept a woman earning no money because it's basically out of duty, out of love. Where women have always thought of their men as being providers, and if a man can't provide, that is where problems lie. And a man is literally on a timer. They're literally on a timer to a point where if you can't earn within a certain amount of money within a certain time frame, most women will leave you. They'll leave you to look for someone who can provide those thrills, who can provide those that satisfaction that a woman wants, and and will keep her satisfied and coachable. Let's say that. I wouldn't say hypergamous. I would say coachable for the moment. So let's go on to the next slide here. Is it? Let me see what I have here in terms of yes. Okay, yeah. So let's go on to this next gentleman. This gentleman's from Australia. He is, I forgot his name there. Human. Again, another YouTuber, and he is diagnosed with the reason why women can't find good men for some reason. So I'm going to give you his diagnosis, and a lot of it is what I've already said to the Talk Live audience on many an occasion. Here we go.
Women go for about 10% of the men, and they ignore about 90%. They don't find them attractive because they've got so many guys to choose from. They only want the best of the best. By contrast, men pick about 50% of the women. Men like and will go out with and be with and want, because it's harder for men to find a woman. They will go out with 50% of the population. Women will only want to go out with or hook up with only 10% of the population. So women are very elitist. So whenever you hear women say, all men are like this, yeah, the 10% of guys that you find attractive and you hold out for, that 10% that you want to commit to you, yeah, a lot of them are lying, sociopathic, non-committal, arrogant, very self-assured, and see no reason to commit to anything. It's very easy to see why women think generally most men are liars and cheaters and won't commit and are good for nothing. It's because they find that top 10% attractive who exhibit those traits. Women are going for the 10% celebrity guy. That guy's essentially a spoiled rich kid. Why would he give up all the fun he's having and commit to you? By contrast, men tend to pick 50% of the women. So consider that. When men say most women are like this, these are the experiences I had, we're talking about roughly half the population of women out there. So when men say these are my experiences and women don't want to listen to it and say, no, that's not true, not all women are like that, we're talking about 50% of the women we pick on average. And so when women are talking about, most men are like this in our experience, well, you're going for the elite 10% of men. Men don't go for elite women. And women may say, well, men need to up their standards. If men only picked 10% of the women, that small percentage out there, the human race would go extinct. And
very good point raised by the gentleman there. Very, very good point. And that women, let's start with this. Women only, just Pearly Things and many other commentators have said, women only find 10 to 20% of men attractive. 10 to 20%. That means a whole 80% are deemed redundant, unattractive, not their style. And usually that top 20% who they deem attractive are, again, of the top 6. They are 6 foot tall. They are they earn 6 figures. They have they are 6 foot tall. They have 6 figures. They have a 6-pack and they have 6 inches or more. And they have the cool factor and all these other things. So that's the top 20%. So when these guys who are inundated, literally inundated with ladies throwing panties their way, and they are, for the most part dogged out because those men are looking for the elite themselves, and they say they're not no good men out there, well, there's a reason for that. It's because these men will have such a plethora of choice, they can deem they can deem ladies redundant. They can deem ladies redundant. That's why all men are saying that the man you should really be with is in your friend zone. Is literally in your friend zone. Or that guy who you would think about, say, oh, he's all right, but he's not what I really, really want. He's not what and that's what men avoid. That's why men avoid successful women as well, is the fact that these girls want the elite. These girls want elite men. The elite men don't want them. And when they're dogged out by these elite men, they take their pains to the rest of the 80%, and they basically treat them like, well, second best, second-hand citizens. Second-class citizens, that is. Second-hand baggage. Sorry. So, what are guys to do? Well, a lot of these guys avoid these elite women. They just do. Because they come with baggage that they unload on the masses. So, this is another reason why women can't, successful women can't find good men, because, and this is one thing that women never get, and this is why I had the video on why Average or Best broke down the feminist dating model, is the fact that the ladies think that their money can buy them access to these gentlemen. Like, these gentlemen, basically they're simps themselves. They're lady simps. Think about that. They think their money can buy them access to these top 20 gentlemen. And usually it's not the case. It's very, very rare that you find a top earning woman have the looks of an 8, 9, or 10 and can take that into the market. It doesn't usually happen. But since they've been around men and they have masculine traits, they think their money can buy them access, and they think that being a lady simp can allow them access to these guys. Guys have never been. The thing about it is, it's the wrong market, because guys have never been bowled over by money unless men are desperate, unless they're in debt, or unless they're sincerely on their knees. That's when men are usually in debt. But if a man has a good job, we don't need your money. Even a man is middle class or working class, don't need their money, because we're a looks-based society. So therefore, a lot of women are successful women are unsuccessful dating men. It's because, well, you're aiming for the wrong market. Successful women are aiming their gaze at the wrong market, the top 10 to 20%. The 6 feet, the 6 footers, the 6 footers, the 6 income, the 6 pack, the 6 inches or more, and the cool factor gentlemen, the Chads and the Tyrones. They don't want you. They literally don't want you. They see you as being, okay, well, men are, they try throwing sex their way. Yes, we'll sleep with you, but we won't stay with you. We'll dog you out. Successful men will dog you out. Simple as that. If you don't meet the beauty standard. Again, you got to be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive / coachable. If you don't meet any of those ideas and still you're a successful woman, chances are you missed the boat. You miss it. You just about miss it. Because those elites want elite looking women. They don't care how much she earns. They want elite looking women. They don't want elite successful women. That's the translation that you're not getting. Most successful women aren't 8, 9s, or 10s. Most of them. Very rarely that they are. Well, they're rare indeed. I would say top earning women who are beautiful as well, I would say the top 3 to 5%. 3 to 5%. And that's the thing that, and those looks with that money, yeah, it can translate, but it's never a guarantee, because again, you can have those masculine traits that can still get you out of there. Because again, those hurdles that I provided for you. Yes, you could be feminine. Yes, you could be fit. Yes, you could be an 8, 9, or 10 in the looks department. However, if you're not cooperative and coachable, and it's hard being in such male environments, they'll still throw you out because there are more women down the road. So therefore, women, take a piece of advice from me. You need to lower your gaze. Don't look so high. Don't look so high. It's that next 20 to 30% below the top 20% that you should be casting your gaze on, because quite simply, those are the guys who are going to be good to you. Those are the guys who are going to be good to you. The top 20%, listen, as the man said, they're lying sexual sociopaths. I mean, they may be nice guys overall, but again, they're so filled with sexual favors and beautiful women all around that they can afford to say, okay, I'll do that, do this, I'll take that, I'll do that, okay, with this. It's the way it is.
I know that most men aren't liars and cheaters and all that other bad stuff women say men are like. Well, simple. You only have to ask most women, what is your father like? The friends you have, the male friends, brothers. Generally, most of the men they know in their lives, they're good guys. But you don't choose them. You don't want them. You don't find them appealing. Again, as the cliche goes, don't listen to what women say they want or say they are, but just look at their actions, what they choose. They don't choose the 90% of average good guys, just above average. No, they want the 10% elite. They want the best of the best. And okay, I see from a biological point of view, you've got to be very careful who you date because you give birth. But generally speaking today, when women have got birth control, they are just picking the top percent of guys who exhibit character traits that are sociopathic. And so it's no wonder those guys are not good men. And yeah, you can hold out and waste your life. But that's why it annoys guys whenever they hear what women say, not what they do, not what they say. They say, I just want a nice guy. Money's not important. Love is all that matters. Yeah, sure. Women make up a lot of things.
Good point. Another good point raised by the gentleman there, and that is, you can't follow what a woman says. You got to follow what a woman does. Women lie. Men lie too, absolutely, to get what we want for sex. But in terms of male choices, women will lie all the time. They say, "Oh, I want." When women say, "I want a nice guy," I just changed the lighting here. When women say, "I want a nice guy, a fantastic guy," you know, who's good to me and nice and genuine and friendly and loving and vulnerable and all this other stuff. Yeah, that describes about 80-90% of the men out there. But yet they pull their gaze at the top 10 to 20. Remember, women deem 80% of men unattractive. 80%. That's what dating apps say. 80% of men are unattractive. Women swipe right swipe right on 5% of men. Five guys. 5% of men on dating apps. 5%. That they deem very attractive. They will want to have sex with then and there if given the opportunity. So, and it's getting worse and worse because again, you're getting 3, 4, 5s and ups, all pulling their gaze on this top 10%. And if they don't get it, so be it. So that's where you're going to find in future a lot more ladies who are to be alone. But the fact of the matter is, can a successful woman look away from the top 10 to 20%? That's the question. That's the real question. Can a successful woman deal with a guy, an ordinary Joe who goes out, works hard, comes home, pays his family, is loyal? Chances are she won't. Chances are she can't. She can't. Because she wants a six-pack, 6 figures, 6-foot guy with 6 inches or more. and a cool factor. She wants all that thing. She wants that whole package. But the fact of the matter is that is reserved for a exclusive group of women. Exclusive. Those who are pretty. Those who are fit, feminine, friendly. Those are the ladies who get that gauge from those top guys. Those guys are basically, who we will choose, who men will choose at that time. So that's why I say, ladies, you got to lower your expectations. You do, especially in this dating environment, or else a lot of you are going to end up alone. They will. I mean, there are alternatives. There are dogs and cats. But a lot of you are going to end up alone. They will. Because your dating standards are way too high. As the gentleman said there, gentlemen will try to date at least 50% of women. 50. 50. So we have a wide plethora of ladies to choose from. That's why when men say ladies are trash or they're garbage or this and that, they have proof because they tried to date about 50% of women out there. 50%. Because we know it's a numbers game when it comes to ladies. A numbers game. And if those numbers, I mean, and this goes towards the top 20% of men. Listen, the top 20% of men will get numbers from 10 women and sleep with one. Because a lot of these ladies think, oh, he's a cheater, he's this, he's that, he's a cheater, or he's a gigolo, or he's a womanizer. They're untrusting of him, so they'll cast their gaze elsewhere. And it is very difficult for these gentlemen to keep their eyes on you. Sorry. But ordinary guys usually cast their net outs as far as possible, see what comes back. Because we know it's a numbers game. As I said, 1 out of 3 gentlemen, and it's going to rise over time, 1 out of 3 gentlemen are virgins or haven't had sex in a year. 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3. And women can turn around and say, oh, well, these guys got to work harder. They got to do more. They got to do... This is where black pill ideology comes in. This is where it comes in. Because they say that, if it's all about looks these days. It's not about so much money, it's about looks these days. Especially when it comes to women. It is. But with successful women, chances are, successful women, with a good amount of gray matter, only a small percentage of those have the pretty factor going for them. So it's harder for them to be in a relationship. But can they be humble? We don't know. Let's continue.
Just so you feel sorry for them. So men lie and cheat? No. The elite 10% of guys you hold out for and you go to bed with, yeah, they do. But the 90% you don't pick, the vast majority, I think they're more like your father's brothers, friends, uncles, things like that. Generally, they're not that bad. But you don't choose them. You don't like them. You don't find them attractive.
Good point raised by the gentleman there. It's just that the ordinary guy you don't want. And he's absolutely correct. The ordinary guy you don't want. And that's the thing you got to turn, especially my successful ladies out there. And listen, you work hard, you deserve what you get in this world, and I'm not knocking you, but at the end of the day, you want the wrong guy. You do, because those guys want the elite themselves. Those are the liars. Those are the cheaters. Those are the sociopaths. Those are the men you want. Those are the men you swipe right for, because they are in such demand. They're in such demand they can do what the hell they want. As my gentleman said before, they're like trust fund babies. They're like rich kids. They do what they want. They throw what they want out, and they keep whatever they choose. And if it just happens to be you, my dear woman, who's earned a living, who believes she deserves a high value man. Doesn't exactly work like that. Because men are driven not by this, we're driven by looks. We are. We are driven by looks. So again, ladies, can you adjust? That's the question. Can you adjust? Can you take your gaze off the top 10 to 20%? The top 10 to 20% who you deem as attractive, and go for a guy like my gentleman said, who's like their brother, who's like their father, who's like their uncle. Good men who won't lie to you, who will stay loyal to you. As it's seen in modern dating, you can't. So deal with the consequences. You can't deal. There are certain women who can, but the majority of you can't, especially the younger you go. Absolutely. You can't. You need the successful men, the 6 foot man. Again, I can say it again, the 6 foot man, the man with 6 figures, the man who's got 6-pack abs, the man who's 6 inches or more in the right area. That's what you want. You can strive for it all you want, but at the end of the day, when you get disappointed, don't come crying to men that say that we're all bad. Buyer's remorse, my dear. So, just saying.
The elite guys that women pick, those guys aren't nice, well-adjusted, fair, empathic, commitment type of guys. They're just not. So, yeah, ladies, of course, we're all the nice guys. I agree with you. Where are you looking, though? Because women say, oh, where are you looking for these women that we complain about? We're looking at 50% of the population on average. So I think our complaints are a bit more realistic, rather than when women say we're all the good men, and they're only looking at 10% of the population. And where they're looking, it's a majority of unempathic, sociopathic, non-commitment type of guys that will use and abuse. Those guys are driven to get whatever they want, and they don't care who they hurt. The ends always justify the means. They're going to use you and throw you away. They feel nothing. So of course, those guys are bad. But you want 10% of the elites. Fair enough, but you have the consequences of only looking in that career. You don't want to date, have kids with, and commit to the average guys in your life that you get along with. You want the outlier that you have very little in common with. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Has this hit you? That because women only go for the top 10%, what personality those kind of guys have? And is it really fair to say, all the men in our experience, they're like that, when you only go for that 10%? Much like when women complain about the wage gap, the jobs they choose don't pay much, the lifestyles they choose don't earn a lot of money. Pretty interesting when you put a magnifying glass over it, isn't it?
Great commentary there in that. He's right. He's absolutely correct. I mean, women say there's a pay gap, but you don't want the jobs men take for that gap. Just like in the dating market. You say there are no good men out there, but look at the men you're choosing for that life. You want that, you hope beyond hope that top 10% will be loving, caring, emotionally vulnerable, will only have eyes for you. Sorry, ladies. It's never the case. Once you get to that top 10 to 20%, there's so many choices in which we can, that most men can go in order to fill their needs. I'm sorry. And as he said, the ends justify the means. If we end up hurting people, we end up hurting people. You end up hurting people. So you gotta realize this, ladies. Ladies, you gotta cast your guys elsewhere. Look for the ordinary Joe. That's the guy who has your heart on his sleeve. But a lot of women, especially younger ones, won't agree with me. They won't hear me. They will not hear me. They will keep doing as they're doing because they think it's going to be successful. But at the end of the day, ladies, and to these gentlemen, sex is ubiquitous. You can't sell them on sex. They don't care about your money. You can't buy love. You can't. So again, as you say, you can try your luck, but good luck, and especially to those ladies who earned a lot. Now, you're not exactly high value women. We know what high value women are, but according to men. So you need to really reconsider the qualities you want in the men, the type of men you want. Let's move on to another gentleman here. Why some men avoid successful women? Why some men avoid successful women? This is a very popular one as well. So let's get into that. Hold on just a second. This is done by Kev Hick. Yes, indeed. So let's see what he has to say about this. Let's go.
Can you date a woman who makes more money than you? Sometimes it's not as simple as writing him off as weak, and that's why he's intimidated by single successful women. Sometimes, while it's not often articulated about men, there are some very valid points to be made. Of course, this won't apply to all successful women, but I've met many that this does apply to. And remember, I'm a dating coach. I talk to about 1,000 women a year between email and phone calls, so I'm not just making this shit up. Remember, my videos are always going to be about pushing your evolutions forward. Plenty of successful women are already balanced and just having trouble finding anyone. Feel wanted. Men love to feel needed. We often hear about how some men love the idea of a woman who needs nothing from them, but this usually refers to tangible things, material assistance, or obligations to help her progress. This rarely for most men means emotional desire or trust. Everyone needs to feel desired in one way or another, and most men with an intent to love need an emotional purpose to serve. No one wants to feel useless. Not to need a man's help is one thing. Not to need a man's love is another. When some men appear to be intimidated by successful women, this is what they're intimidated by. Having no use in her life whatsoever. There's no security in uselessness. It's not about the success at that point. It's the indifference they fear. The hope is to still feel like it's stable in her life, even though she doesn't need you financially or materially. Not like one of those damn paperweights on her office desk. And a lot of women know what that feels like. To feel like an inanimate object who could be lost, who could come or go without being noticed at all. To be picked up and put down. To be moved from place to place without really even having a place. For real men, their masculinity lies in their sense of purpose. For one to have no discernible purpose in your life would be masculine. The second thing that intimidates men away from successful women.
Good point there raised by the gentleman. Very good point raised by the gentleman there, in that if a man feels he's not needed and unwanted, then then especially by successful women, he'll avoid them. He'll literally avoid them. If he feels like he's treated like an object or a tool that could be used from time to time, picked up, used, and put away, that's a problem, ladies. That's a real issue with these gentlemen. A real issue with these gentlemen. I mean, a man wants to feel needed. A man wants to feel needed, as a woman wants to feel needed. And if you have this sort of personality where, God, a bit of heartburn there. If you have a feel of a need that you're, as he said, like a paperweight that can be, moved from place to place, feel a utility for a certain time and then not thought of for the rest of it, then men will tend to avoid you. They will. And again, we don't it's not about what you say, it's what you do, ladies. It's not about what you say, it's what you do. So if you feel that you are, as a successful woman, that you are giving your all to a relationship, you got to really think about your actions and what a man sees, because that's what a man men are very observant in terms of what women give off, and if men feel that they are unneeded, unwanted in a certain in a romantic capacity, guess what? They're gonna move on. They're gonna move forward. They are. They're and they won't feel the least bit humbled or slighted by it, because again, the clock is ticking for you, not really for us. So you gotta see. We have a comment in the we have a comment in the background. Jump on there, buddy, by my man Dexter, and he was saying that women don't need alpha. Men don't need alpha women. For the most part, no, we don't. We don't. The fact of the matter is, and thank you for the comment there, Dexter. The fact of the matter is, can ladies rest in their feminine? Can they do it? Especially when when taking it off the road. And not only that, can they make a man feel wanted when they're at home, when they're away from the office? Because again, a lot of women may tend to, especially being in these male sectors, and these male areas, compartmentalize romance. And a man, like a woman, wants to feel wanted. And if he doesn't feel wanted, and if he doesn't get that, you know what? He'll move on. He will move on. But let's continue.
Times is an inability to be vulnerable. Sometimes successful women have trouble being vulnerable. The adjustments one has to make in getting to the top of certain industries doesn't always lend itself to femininity, as men often recognize it. We know softness, malleable, accommodative. Those things will kill your career if you're a successful woman competing with the worst of the worst, trying to get to the top. Swimming with the sharks. If you swim with the sharks long enough, you become a shark. So, not all women work in very competitive, male-dominated industries and become very cold and combative and don't know how to turn it off. This particular sticking point can be more difficult for women to overcome, whose initial motivation for success was childhood trauma. But whether or not traumatic histories exist, the fear is that a woman's heart is impenetrable because of her obvious mistrust for the world around her. Most men hope to be admired by their women, not competed with. Successful women often develop reputations for being cold and callous in the office. If they're single for too long, having assumed those roles, they become cold and callous at home. But they haven't made those adjustments next to enough masculine energy at home. They develop a tougher shell to overcome the impressive nature in most professional industries.
So, very good point raised by the gentleman in that you take on a lot of masculine traits by being in the office. Women, successful women. And I've already said that. When you take on these masculine traits and you can't show your femininity and you can't show your vulnerability, and we're coming home to another man, men didn't sign up for that. They didn't, ladies. Successful ladies. We never signed for another man at home. We never did. And if you want us to be emotionally vulnerable, you'll end up hating us, because men are supposed to be protectors and providers. It's a turnoff to women for men to be the vulnerable one. So to have two non-vulnerable people in the same house, it's a recipe for disaster. Absolute recipe for disaster. So, ladies, you gotta decide to yourself: are you ready to be emotionally vulnerable? Are you? Are you truly ready to be emotionally vulnerable? Because if you're not, don't go after men, let alone successful men. the top 10%, or go at, or any men at all. Don't do it. Because you are supposed to be the emotional strength of any relationship. Because if men were the emotional strength, guess what? We'd be out on our ears sooner or later. We'd be out on our hides because you'd lose respect for us. As I said, protectors and providers are supposed to be men. Those are the men that you're drawn to. Those are high value men that you're drawn to. The top 10% that you're drawn to. Because they are supposed to be the ultimate protectors and providers. Supposedly. So for us to, show our feelings and to, be emotional and all this other stuff, these are female traits. And you wouldn't want it from a man, so we have to get it from you. And if you can't show us that, men are going to move on. So ladies, that's why a lot of men avoid successful women. They avoid dating success. That some men avoid dating successful women because we don't want to be simps, and we can't be emotionally vulnerable. You're asking us to, and you can't be it yourself. Be it through traumatic childhood experiences for which you should seek therapy, or because you've been in a masculine environment in which you don't know how to shut off. So, the choice is yours.
Energetically, some women can't turn that off. It becomes who they are. In this case, it's not the money or the job title, but the inability to be vulnerable that pushes men away. Because for a man, it can feel like he's not making progress with you if you're not softening up. It feels like he has no effect on you, that he's a no one. Moving on, the third thing that can intimidate guys away from successful women is when some women can't leave their rank or their status at the door and compete with him for authority in the home. Authority that he may feel like traditionally belongs to a man. Yes, some men are very insecure. I'll give you that. But it's also true that some women are trying to be the man in their home over a man because they themselves are insecure about being hurt. Struggles over power and being at war with your spouse is never a man's fantasy. And then there's a thing about time. Some men who are a little bit less secure.
Good point raised there by the gentleman. Sorry, I'm just going to stop that for a second. No, he's just going a little further here. Good point raised by the gentleman. The fact of the matter is, here's the thing. You try to be the authority at home, but being the authority at home is left to gentlemen for one reason, because we can protect. Sorry, ladies. You're not running to stop a burglar or to sense danger or to nullify a threat. You're not. You're not the first port of call for that. If you're have an ability in the martial arts, for which, there are some women who are, but are in the distinct minority. I would say about 5 to 10% of women are, black belts or above, who are skilled in martial arts. Then all the power to you. Yeah, you should be the one to nullify a threat. But usually, for the majority of the population, the rules still apply. Men are supposed to protect and provide. But in this protection scheme, that gives us authority, especially in terms of household safety. And if you're not willing to give us that authority in that space, that's a problem. Put simply, that's a problem. That'll cause a power struggle, and at the end of the day, that'll lead to a breakup. That'll lead to a divorce. Men want to know that their protection affords them some sort of authority or some sort of respect in the household. And if you're not going to give that gentleman his respect, his due, his authority in that department, then ladies, you're going to find your men walking away. You're going to find them walking away. To have that man in the house, to be that protector in your household, he has to be given respect for that. If you're not going to give him respect for that, or if you want to wrest that power away from him, no man wants to be around a woman who wants to be as your equal in terms of that department. No man wants that. That emasculates him. That is prototypical emasculation. So we have to see things for what they are, ladies. We have to see things for what they are. Are you going to give the man the space, the authority to protect you? Because if it's going to be a tug of war between the two of you at home for who has authority in terms of protection in the household, chances are you're going to lose your man. You're going to lose him.
Man's fantasy. And then there's the thing about time. Some men who are a little bit less successful, a little bit less busy, still want to be prioritized by their women, right or wrong. It's kind of the same way with women who date successful men. They want a bigger chunk of the pie. They want to feel important. Successful people in general are known for being very busy. But neglect will never be a very good selling point unless someone can relate to your busy schedule. And I talk to a lot of women who are neglective to their partners or in their budding relationships because they just simply don't have time. Especially if they're entrepreneurs, they're trying to chase down leads and get customers. They don't have time to come home and be somebody's cuddle bear. So the fear that some women can't separate work from home is valid. Some business owners are business owners 24 hours a day. Some people with high-ranking jobs bring their work home with them. They have homework and things that they're working on all night. It can create a lot of separation at home. If you don't have enough systems in place, or if you haven't delegated certain responsibilities or automated things, it can be very difficult to maintain your love life and maintain your professional life. Men do not want to get caught in that crossfire. Anyway, I say that to say, whether the issue is time or indifference or lack of vulnerability or emasculation, the fear is often not a successful woman's success, but a successful woman's potential character traits or character flaws. Right or wrong, just be aware that if you're in that position, men will love you. But the aforementioned traits are usually deal breakers if no adjustments can be made. Many times, the fear isn't your success or how much money you make. The fear is him not being loved completely. The fear is her being too guarded or too abrasive, from not being able to separate her energies. It's being talked down to or looked down at. It's her indifference. It's not her success that scares most men. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Follow me at KFIC24.
Excellent points raised by the gentleman. Let me get his name again. It is, yes, Kev Hick.
On Instagram if you haven't already.
There we go.
I'll get with y'all.
You can look up Kev Hick. He gives some good commentary on things there regarding love and relationships, and he's right. I mean, most men want to have a woman who can bestow time, energy, and love upon them. And a lot of these women who are in these high-profile jobs, they don't have that time. And if ladies don't have that time for their man, for affection, for love, for intercourse, and good intercourse, then men see that as a major turnoff. Ladies, they do, because that is what traditionally women are there for. But these things are changing. The only thing about it is, can a woman provide that love and attention that men are seeking? Can they? Can you? And we have to say to ourselves, no, not really. I mean, for a lot of these successful ladies, that is not the case, because again, they run their lives like men. So it's quite hard for them to turn off the work, turn off that work switch and turn on that love / time / attention switch. It's very difficult. And that's why, again, a lot of men avoid dating successful women, because they don't have time for them. They don't have time. They literally don't have time. And what do men do? They look for women who do have time. Because there are so many more women out there. Now again, are men to be blamed for seeking out that time? Take for instance the T.J. Holmes Ms. Roback affair. Take that for instance. You had T.J. Holmes and his wife, and again, she was a lawyer. She was never home. She was potentially. Lawyers work very hard. Let me say that lawyers work very, very long hours and even though she was dutiful as a wife, but the fact of the matter is she may have been out of the house, guys. She may have been working on files or in the office all the time, so she couldn't dedicate her whole self to him. So what did he do? He sought out a woman who worked his schedule, catered to him during the hours they were together. They spent a lot of time together, and he fell into her arms. It was an easy sell. It was an easy sell. She sold him affection, and I very much doubt, even though on the surface with T.J. Holmes, it was a case of, everything was hunky-dory. I mean, he wrote love letters to her about the 10th anniversary and all, but at the end of the day, he ended up cheating. Why? Because she was available to him. She bestowed love upon him. She allowed him to be a man. But I think the biggest thing is the fact that she didn't have time. I bet that lawyer didn't have time for him. Literally didn't have time. Literally did not have the time. Dealing with kids, dealing with her career, and then at the end of the day, asking for a woman to cater to his needs. That's why a lot of guys just don't deal with with successful. They rather not do it. They rather not do it. It's not about intimidation, not because he's not strong enough. No, because of all these things. You don't have time for him. You're not emotionally vulnerable to him. You're emotionally deficient. You bring your work home and you're not available to him. All these things that my guy shared in the video. He's right. Ladies. So it's not about men all being trash. No, because you cater. There's that. You cater yourself to a certain amount of men. But when you get home and you want these wonderful men, can you be a woman to these men? And as my man said right here, you dictate masculine traits. And if you dictate masculine traits to a man, it's a complete, utter turnoff. Utter turnoff. That's why women who still have high power jobs, the ones with the successful marriages are the ones who can, at a moment's notice, become a woman at home. The ones who can be emotionally vulnerable, who are there for the men, who allow their men to have authority in the home, and allow a man to be a man. Those are the ones that survive. If you want to be strong and independent, yeah, you'll be strong and independent on your own. And that's where a lot of these women who leave their men, for the most part, is because, okay, yes, they're on a timer and all, but in a lot of cases, a case where a woman's bringing home the bacon and, in some way, shape, or form, she may not be the breadwinner, but she is not resting in her feminine. She's not doing it. Sorry. And that's a problem. We have another another very, very popular dating coach. She was with the roommates. Her name is Rebecca Lynn Pope, one that Kevin Samuels swore by back in the day. Used to work with her on a regular basis. Rebecca Rebecca Lynn Pope tells it like it is to ladies. And to be fair, she did it again. And for a time there, she did not want anything to do, especially with black women, successful black women, single, independent, don't need a man black women. Because, again, they could not turn off the masculine. And here again, she's giving you reasons why successful women are rejected by men or they can't date the man they want. Here we go.
That are making the kind of money you're making is so slim to none, and then those men don't want you because a lot of them are doing so well. Pussy and money. Okay. This is the equalizer. This is what comes in. Women use pussy, vagina, to say, oh, I got him with this sex, right? Men use money. So money is this equalizer. This men get access to women that they would never have access to because of money.
That's so true.
And women do it because men will sleep with just about anything. And especially if it's private or secret and no one has to know. So I've seen women who are 5s, but they're sleeping with a dude who's a 9. She's got these ridiculous standards because she actually thinks this means that a man on that level would be with her. But he would never be with her. He's just using her for sex. But she thinks because her vagina is giving her access to these in here, that this is the new standard. Men, money. They would never have access to these women, but the money gives them access to this. So for women who are very successful and you want to only date those men in that pool, that men with money have access to women that are not on their level. Do you think he wants you? Unless you're a drop-dead gorgeous successful woman who has the body and all this, the looks to go along with your money, and even then they hardly still want you because they feel like they're in competition with you. And there's all this underlying dynamic around, and women don't like when I talk about this,
The truth,
but
Rebecca. Why were you here?
there's a difference between being pretty and being gorgeous. You know, a lot of women will be like, I'm pretty, I don't understand, I'm pretty. Like, yeah, you're pretty, and you're pretty with your clothes on. But there's women who are drop dead gorgeous, butt naked. And that's a whole nother level.
Like the difference between a guy makes good money's $80,000, and some people make $80 million.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, and women don't understand that there's, from a visual perspective, there's this spectrum for men. You know, there's like levels to this. I learned, and what I'm speaking about really comes from matchmaking, you know, because we're dealing with very high net worth men, and they want a look, they want a woman, and it's not, you know, you got to be able to put on a bikini and be looking good on his arm in a bikini. You know what I'm saying? Like
And a tiny bikini.
like little eye patch bikinis that
Not a
just
one
look
piece.
like, yeah, you know, and that's what women don't like this stuff, but it's like because they feel like, well, I deserve the millionaire too, honey. The millionaire is looking for the fitness model that could wear an eye patch and walk right through here, no cellulite, no jiggle, no anything, you know, he's just sitting. I mean, this is my personal experience with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like.
Perfect. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. Well done to Rebecca Lynn Pope. It's the truth. It's the truth. That's what the top 20% want. That's what the top 10% want. Women think that their money will buy them access to those successful men. The 6-pack, 6 figures, 6 foot tall, 6 inches or more gentlemen who are super rich. And chances are it won't. Because these men are looking at something completely different. Completely different. They're looking for elite women. As Rebecca Lynn Pope said, they're looking for gentlemen. I mean, they're looking, sorry. Pause to that. Pause. Sorry about that. They're looking for women. Okay, well, I'm not going to say. They're looking for women who look great naked. Not just good, great naked. As she was saying, they're looking for fitness models who have no cellulite whatsoever. Who are, as she said, gorgeous women. Not just pretty women, gorgeous women. And most successful women, especially in the workplace, can't hold a candle to it. Can't do it. And that's what these top 20% want. These top 20% are looking in a completely different space than where these successful work a day women are. Simple as that. Simple as that. Again, these rich guys can find these ladies. I mean, they can find them anywhere who look great naked. Who are sexual savants, let's say that. Who can look great in a bikini, as she was saying. In a two-piece, small eye patch bikini. A lot of them being IG models because they want to know their worth. A lot of them being like the Brittany Renners of the world. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what those men are looking for. They're not looking for a successful, oh, I've got this, I'm a lawyer, and I'm at this, I'm at that, and I've got a great career. No. No. Average and breast proved it. See, that's what a lot of feminists don't get, is the fact that they have been given access to resources does not change the narrative to men in terms of what they want. Now, if women are willing to compromise, then we have something to say. But women are keep falling for it and pulling themselves toward the Chads and Tyrones of the world. Chads and Tyrones don't want you. The super rich don't want you. And that's the trade-off. They think, but for a lot of ladies, they think sex can get you access. Money can get you access. No, it can't. No, it can't. It's in no lack of a better word, no, it cannot. It cannot, ladies. It's just a fact of life. It's better that you go for that guy who can protect and provide as best as possible than for these guys who you really want. Because at the end of the day, you can't compete. You can't compete. A very small percentage of you can compete. Like my lawyer who was on the, let's just look her up. The lawyer who was on the Johnny Depp case. Yes. There it is. Camille Vasquez. Camille Vasquez. There she is. This gives you a closer look at her. Look at this. Top right-hand corner. And even she, my people, even she can't compete. Yeah. Bye. These are elites. Let's. Here's a perfect example. These are the smart cookies. These are the workaday elites. Get up, please get up. Let's go down the list. Let's indeed go down the list. Oh, these ladies who are Johnny Depp's legal team. Again, Camille Vasquez has a shot. Guys, has a literal shot. You can see this on Talk Live. Camille Vasquez has a shot of getting a high volume man. Has a shot, believe me. But it's not a certain shot, but she has a shot. Very, very astute, very erudite, very competent in a position. But at the end of the day, she has a shot. Of these lawyers, she has a great shot. These are lawyers that earn six figures in their professions as a lawyer. 6 figures. Camille can only get, she can shoot her shots at the elites, but at the end of the day, she may not get it. And she's the best looking of the bunch, guys. She's like a adjustable 6 on her day and 8. That's one thing. Here we go. Irina Mena. Cute girl. You consider her a nice looking lady. Now, she would only want the 10%, but at the end of the day, the 10% really don't want her. They don't, unfortunately. As competent as she is, as great at her position as she is, at her profession as she is, men still don't want her. I'm just doing a blow by blow attempt. She was what you would consider a successful woman. Still can't get the man she wants. She'd be maybe in the top 10%. Still can't get a man she wants. She's in a position which demands of her time at least 60, 70 hours a week. And she has to settle. She can't get the top 10%. She would love to, but she can't get the top 10%. No, hell no. Hell no. Here again. Next lady, Stephanie Callan. Nice looking girl. Cute looking girl. She herself would be hypergamous. She herself would want, one of the top elite gentlemen out there, but she won't get it. She's a cute girl, 6. 6. Solid 6, if not, adjustable 6. She can look great on her day, but at the end of the day, will she get the man that she wants? High-powered gentleman? No. Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately. For all of her accomplishments, for all of her good deeds, they still can't find the men that they want, that top 10%, because the top 10% aren't looking for her. Ladies. Successful ladies. Unfortunately. Because we are looks-based. Instead of getting an ordinary Joe, you probably resent that ordinary Joe because he doesn't earn as much as you. But again, that remains to be seen. But that's usually the case. Here he again. Jessica Myers. Very nice looking lady. Very nice. Accomplished, sweet, fine, kind, 5'6". In terms of looks, but would she get the men? She's a woman who would be earning about over 6 figures, but would she get the man she wants? No. Unfortunately not. Because at the end of the day, does she have the looks that those men are looking for? No. Now, if she can be feminine at home, then she has a shot at a certain brand of man, absolutely. But in terms of the top 10% that she may be looking for, no. They aren't looking for her. They ain't checking for her. And last but not least, Rebecca McDowell. Again, fine enough looking woman. I mean, she's not. Rebecca is a partner in a firm, so she's a solid 6 figures. She's earning about $250,000-$300,000 a year. Would she get the man she wants that get her paid for the $250,000 a year? No, she wouldn't. Unfortunately, she would not. The looks don't denote it. They don't add up. Men aren't looking at her. I mean, she wants the top 10% of men, but those top 10% of men don't want her. So guess what? Unless she lowers her, I don't. Now, let me say this. I don't know if these women are married already. But unless this woman humbles herself and takes what she can get in terms of the dating market, like that ordinary guy who will work with her career, work with her, will accept her looks as they are and move forward and carry on with life, then Unfortunately, she may end up alone. But one thing I'm sure all these ladies would agree with, even Camille at the end of the day, because she's pretty much the finest of the bunch. One thing that all these ladies can agree with is, and this is again dependent on you, one thing all these ladies can agree with is these ladies can be confident in the boardroom, but more often than not, they can switch it off and show their femininity at home. If they are married, they can. But if they can't, that's a problem. Because as we see by the hand here, it's hard for these women to find the men they want. Because these women are looking at the 10 to 20% elite men who aren't looking and checking for them. They're not doing it. And your career, your successful career, won't change that. You have to display femininity. You have to display that fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive / coachable attitude at home. And if you're an elite, top 20%, they want gorgeous women. Gorgeous, not just pretty. Like Camille is gorgeous. So are you willing to lower your standards, women? Are you willing to do that? If you're not, there are alternatives. There are pink alternatives. Or there are dogs and cats.
Like, women don't get it. Like, you need to swim in your lane. You know what I'm saying? Swim in your lane. Mr. Pope don't mind these stretch marks. Mr. Pope don't mind this little bit of cellulite. You know what I'm saying? But there's men at certain levels who date at certain levels that is, you know, physically speaking, they're used to perfection. And right or wrong, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying that's right. It's just reality, you know? Men don't look at it like, let's be a power couple. That's a woman thing.
Man, that is real, Rebecca. I think a lot of women don't realize that.
Men don't think like that. That, you know, you're powerful, successful man making money. He wants a woman for peace and love and great sex and stroke his ego, and he's proud to have her on his arm when he goes out. It's kind of like that whole package, you know, for men thing. But that's about it. And as long as you're like a really great woman, you can be great friends, and you know, the compatibility is there and everything. But he's not looking at another millionaire woman like, let me be with her because she's a millionaire.
Yeah.
That is,
Perfect point there raised by Rebecca Lynn Pope. This whole power couple thing that you ladies been shouting about the last 10 to 20 years, men don't want that. No. They don't want guys to match their energy or match their drive or match their... It is irritating. It's like fingernails on a chalkboard to us. It really is. Because if we wanted that, we'd be shouting on from the rooftops about that. We would. There was only one song about that, and that was Neo Miss Independent. One. That I know of. I very much doubt there have been many others sung about independent women. And that was to cater to your ego and to get you in the sack. There it is. That was literally to get you in the sack, ladies. Seriously. Neo did his job, did his work on that song. It was, you know, it's a pretty catchy tune, but at the end of the day, would he want such a woman in his life? Probably not. Neo would want what Rebecca Lynn Pope was referring to. They want a woman who can come in, stroke an ego, be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, get on a man's game plan, get on his page, and literally carry things through to its nth degree. That's why I've always said, and what Kevin Samuels, the Godfather, R.I.P., have always said himself, men will go down in looks to go up in cooperation. Yes. If we can find a woman to get on board with us and what we're trying to do, chances are you're going to get chosen. Pick me or not, you're going to get chosen. So, It's up to the ladies. It really is up to you as to how you want to govern yourself. If you like being alone, well, you'll be alone. If you want to be single, independent, don't need a man, you can. That can be done. Easily can be done because it's a numbers game and men understand. That can easily be done. You ladies got to realize that. That can easily be done. So, successful women. What are we to do with you? I mean, it's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new energy that we're looking for from you. But, ladies, all these things, all these posts have shown you that you really need to take stock and to humble yourselves. Just because you have found newfound money doesn't mean the goalposts have been shifted. The old rules still apply. Men look after the best. Men will always seek out the best looking woman, especially the top 10 to 20% that you want. And women will always try to seek out the top 10 to 20 men who can protect and provide. It's as simple as that. Just because you found money doesn't mean that, and just because you found money doesn't mean that buys you access to the top 10%. Just because you have money doesn't mean that you can't be feminine at home. Oh, sorry about that. Oh my God. Wow. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. That just fell out of there for a second, which is funny to me. Just want to put my thing back in there. Okay, here we go. Fantastic. But that's what we're dealing with, ladies. That's what we're dealing with. Can you humble yourself to be exalted? That's the question. That's the question. I mean, in my experience, luckily for me that, there's a, I dealt with a woman who could indeed herself be a woman who's a go-getter and tries to, but at home, she turned on the feminine. Absolutely turned it on. Absolutely turned it on. I won't name names, but she absolutely turned it on. But there have been women in my life who've literally turned around and said, "Oh, well, they couldn't turn off their mask and they couldn't do it." And quite simply, that was a problem. That's an issue not only to me but to many other men. So, despite the changing of the landscape, the rules of the land and of the game still apply, ladies. They do. I mean, you can be as successful as you want. You're in a free and democratic society. Be successful as you want, and men aren't intimidated by your money. Let that be said. Men aren't intimidated by a strong woman. They aren't. The problem is, can you be feminine when it is asked of you? Can you do it? Can you allow a man's authority in the household whose job it is to protect? Can you do it? Can you turn your gaze towards not the top 10 to 20% who you only deem as attractive, but the 10 to 20% below them who will tend to be loyal to you? Can you do that? That's the question, ladies. That's the question to you modern women. That's the question to you modern successful women who are looking at love. Because there can only be one masculine in the house. Let me say that. Because if it's not the masculine man, you ladies will either lose attraction to him or the man will leave. That's it. That's it. Can you make the necessary adjustments in this new age? Can you be available and vulnerable to a man who wants you to be? Especially if you have kids. That's why a lot of men don't date women with kids, because not only do you need to have time for your children, you need to have time for your man. And as a successful woman, that's a problem in and of itself. So, the choice is yours, ladies. It clearly is. I was going to go into another video, but I think I'm going to stop here because, quite simply, I think we've argued about this subject enough. And this is all we're asking from you, ladies, is the fact that, yes, you allow us to be men, but can you be a woman? Can you be a woman? And not only be a woman to not just the top 10%, but to those who really are at your level. So I'm gonna leave it there. I've got some work to do, and I'm a bit on the tired side, so I'm gonna leave it right there. But I thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Yes, indeed. We'll be back tomorrow night for a new show. Here we go. But thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live tonight. Great show indeed. And ladies, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, but can you be your traditional self? That's the question. To you modern women, to you modern successful women, can you do it? Because again, you may have changed, but the dating landscape has not. And I thank you very much for joining me at Talk Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And we'll be back soon. Again, shorts coming. Shorts are coming. They're coming, I would say, next week for everyone on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. They're all coming. We're going to be distributing them widely because, it's time to get the show on the road. And there are other changes to come as well in terms of the set, in terms of the camera, in terms of the lighting. So all these things are on the way. Again, we're sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. New fall winter line out now. And again, season's greetings. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah to the Jewish faith. And happy Kwanzaa to those African diaspora who do celebrate Kwanzaa. Because it is season's greetings, not just Christmas. And Merry Christmas to all. There you go. Not just Christmas. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. But thank you very much for joining me at Talk Talk Live. We're going to leave it there. We'll be back tomorrow night at 8 p.m. One more show before I will take off because, again, it's Christmas. So there'll be a little bit of time off there. And we'll be back next Tuesday with a new run of shows. So please tune in and do view us and watch the changes that will be coming around here and out there. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. On the road to 1,000 subscribers. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Leave comments down below on the show itself. And ladies, there's a shot at love, but are you willing to take it? Are you willing to humble yourselves to be exalted? Done deal. All right, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. No issues regarding the frequency, the Wi-Fi here tonight, which is great. But protect yourself if you're in the Toronto area because it is going to be snowing. So again, thanks very much, Talk Talk Live. We're going to be leaving you live on Instagram. And yes, more uploads to come. Let me say that again. That's the one final thing we're going to get out there. More uploads to come from the show. We have a few shows in the can, especially from our Instagram feed. We're going to be putting them out there. And hopefully you do enjoy those. And again, more shorts to come, more set changes to come, camera changes, a lot set changes. And I hope you join me on the journey. Thank you very much. And we'll speak to you soon. Good night. And if you talk the talk, walk the walk. Peace!